start off with a little activity, but I need a volunteer. Does somebody want to volunteer to be our pretend teacher for a minute?
Okay, Linda?
You want it? Okay, so what we're going to do is, I'll be one of your students, okay? We're going to do, we just need some pens. We have our paper, and what we need to do is tell us how to understand this and how to do this. So you have to give us instructions to do this, okay? So like step one, you know? And then we'll see how well we are as students.
Okay.
Does everyone have a pen?
Yes. Okay.
Okay, ready?
Ready. Okay. So first, start drawing a line from the right top and then draw towards right bottom. Like for about, I don't know, like an inch. And then
Like what? Across?
so it's like a slope on then there's a slope at the right top. And then you'll draw another slope that's going towards left bottom, which is about 1 inch. And then go up for an inch, and then go left for an inch and a half maybe. And then draw a straight line down about for 2 inches. And then draw a circle. And then from the center of the circle, draw a line towards left, straight line. And then a straight line down for about 2 inches. And then draw like a long line across to the left. And then draw like a rectangle, a small rectangle. Yeah, so that's it.
Cool. Let's see how we did. Oh gosh, I did wrong.
Give me that. So this was the shape I was given.
Okay.
The slope part was so
Yeah.
hard.
It's tricky. So sometimes we can see that information that we have to share with our students can be a little bit confusing sometimes. So, but we have to help them understand. And so sometimes they might not get it completely, but they, they'll do their best, right? What do you guys think makes the difference? How can we as teachers help our students understand what we have to give them?
I think teaching a lesson in different ways, like that was just an auditory thing that she was giving us, so maybe like showing us the picture or like watching a video on it or just providing that different stuff.
When I was looking at that, I wasn't really sure if I could actually like show that. And show my movements at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just like what Michaela said, I think we can use lots of different kinds of ways, methods to teach, not only voice.
Yeah. So there are a lot of things that goes into being an effective teacher. What are some characteristics or tools that an effective teacher, do you guys think, would have?
An effective lesson plan.
An effective lesson plan? That's really good.
Goals. They're like goal oriented.
Okay, that's really good. Lesson plan, goals. Anything else?
Positive attitude.
Yeah, positive attitude, of course. 'Cause it's no fun what if she was up here and she was yelling all of the instructions to us? That wouldn't make us feel very good.
And I think the lesson should be like personalized for each student, like knowing their personalities.
Yeah, absolutely. So we should get to know our students so that we can help them individually, right? That definitely helps. Yeah, for sure. So these are all really, really good. You guys have some really good ideas. Have you guys had I mean, I'm sure that up until now, you guys have had some teachers that really stood out to you, that were just really great teachers, and then some other teachers that maybe not so much. Yeah. So, do you guys have an experience of a teacher that you would want to share?
An effective teacher?
Yeah, either an effective teacher or an ineffective teacher, and if you could share, each of you could share an experience and like tell us how you felt in that class.
Okay. I have.
That's it first.
Okay. In high school, I have an economic teacher, and I think she was an effective teacher because in economic you have to learn a lot of terms, a lot of vocabs, a lot of definitions for every word. And what she did, she wanted us to write a poem, and after writing the poem, including the definition of every word, what is power system, what is in scarcity, and then she told us to like tune the poem to make it a song, like to any kind of song that we like. So we make it according to it. It was fun. Everyone was like very engaged and very willing to do the exercise. And by the time we have the quiz and the final, we just sit there and we can like hear everybody just singing, not loud, but then can sing the whatever poem that they were making. It helps, makes them memorize the definitions of every vocabs and everything in class. So I think that's a good idea for an effective teachers. Like she has a lot of ways of like helping us to learn, because every student does not learn the same way, and they have their own ways of learning things. So this kind of ways that the teachers was just helping us to
That's really good. I love that. I love when teachers make the learning experience fun and helps us to find ways that we'll actually be interested in it and keeps us engaged and stuff like that. So that's really good. And I bet that everyone just worked and did their own thing in a good way, and there wasn't too much disruptions or people weren't so much off task, because it seems like everybody was really
I
happy
can
to
still
do it.
remember
Yeah.
the song.
Oh, that's cool. Yuri, do you want to share your experience?
One of my teachers that I had, I think, the most, like, what I liked about him is that he was very honest all the time about what he felt about me. So I wasn't a very good student. I was usually, when we have a laptop out and stuff, I would be like doing something else, or I would be, and sometimes I wouldn't do his homework, and then every single time he would actually come up to me and talk to me about these things. And sometimes when I was in high school, other classes, teachers wouldn't actually care if the students were listening or not, or if they were playing on the computer, but he cared if the students were listening or not. And plus, when he taught the lessons, he was always really prepared. He had like he was always thinking about how he can improve his class, so his lesson plans and things like that. So he would, for example, one time he tried out this new method of letting us write and making notes by our own, but it didn't work. So he thought of a way, so he made a little worksheet where it has all the titles or like the topics on it, and it has little descriptions, and then there's like a box where we can write our own notes on. That was actually easier because it had like some guidelines. And I thought that was really cool. So I think he was actually thinking about us. And that was why he was effective.
That's really good. That is great. How he really did his best to make sure that every student understood, and he even came up with new ways to help them understand better. That's great. Do you have any?
Yeah, I had an AP physics teacher in high school that, AP physics is a hard course to take, and he was a really smart guy. He had like 3 master's degrees, and he was a really smart guy, and he was really nice. But the way he taught his class was very interesting. He would only provide one way of delivering his lesson. He would always just stand up at the front of the class and talk to us for about the first 10 minutes of class, and then he'd give us a worksheet and just say, okay, figure it out together. And so he didn't do a very good job of kind of altering his instruction to fit different learning styles. And so it was always hard for me to learn in that situation because I'm not very good at, especially like math and like AP physics, I'm not good at figuring things out on my own. I need like a textbook or some like a lesson, and so it was hard for most of us. And he was one of the teachers that said most of the kids don't do very well in my class, and so he kind of had negative expectations for us. So it was a hard class to be in, and a lot of us struggled in it because he would only deliver his lessons in one way. So it was hard for us to ever learn very well.
Yeah, that's hard. Thank you for
No, you're welcome.
the opposite of an effective teacher. That was a good example. You know, what we don't want to do, we want to make sure that we, you know, diversify our teaching to help. I mean, imagine we'll have 30 different students, and each one is going to come from different backgrounds and cultures, and they'll have different levels of their capabilities and things like that. So we really need to help each and every one, like your teacher and your teacher did as well. So in this lesson, there are 3 main characteristics that we're going to talk about today. And one of them, I think we've heard a little bit about already, is positive expectations. Why do you guys think that this makes such a big impact on us as students, to have positive expectations? Why do you think this is so important?
Motivates us, to teach students.
Yeah.
When we feel that support from a teacher, we have more intrinsic motivation to do.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You know, I know that I had this one teacher that, and she was kind of, well, she was really hard too, but she would come in and kind of just tell us in her own way how stupid we all were, that we didn't already know everything she was going to teach us. And it really put me down. And once, if I'm put down, I just like shut down. You know, some people are like, no, I'm not, I'm going to prove you wrong, and they do, not me, like shut down, and I couldn't, you know, that was the expectation that she put on all of us, and we all failed. And so these positive expectations, and just like we learned earlier, that whatever we put out, we're going to get back. So I'm going to read a little bit about why these positive expectations help us, to help our students. Read to the first part, just the highlighted, and this. Okay.
Having positive expectations simply means that the teacher believes in the learner and that the learner can learn. If you believe the student is low level, below average, slow learner, the student will perform accordingly because these are the beliefs you transmit to the student. If you believe a student is high ability, above average, capable learner, the student will perform at the level because these are the expectations you transmit to the student. It is essential that the teacher exhibit positive expectations toward all students. Classroom management. All right, now that's the next part.
Yeah, so what it says is that, basically whatever expectations we put on our students, no matter where they are, that's what they're going to show us. They're going to reach those expectations. So if we put in low expectations, they're going to stay low. But if we give them high expectations and really build them up and support them and motivate them, encourage them, no matter where they are in the beginning of the year, they will get there. And so it's such a huge influence that we have, just our positivity, just our attitude alone makes that much of a difference. And then another characteristic is classroom management. Have you guys ever been in a class that was just out of control? Does anybody want to tell a quick little story of what happened? If you have an experience.
I think the most common one that we've probably all seen is when there's a substitute.
Yeah.
I think that since the substitute hasn't had a chance to establish the way they manage a classroom with their students that day, it makes the students kind of take advantage of that lack of management. So I feel like that's why it's important to, as a permanent teacher, to establish good management.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. What are some ways do you guys think we can establish classroom management? I mean, sometimes kids are rowdy and, come back from the weekend and, getting back into a new school week and the routine and stuff like that. What are some things you think we can do to help maintain or develop that good classroom management?
Maybe have a classroom rule.
Rules, yeah, those. Do you guys think that it would be better to tell the students, okay, these are the rules,
And tell the sequences,
and then the consequences?
Yeah.
Or do you think it would help them if they develop their own rules? With the help of the teacher, of course. The rules can't be like whatever they want, but what do you guys think?
I kind of thought, sometimes what you said about when students come back from weekend, they're all still feel like they're still on weekend.
Yeah.
I thought maybe what about if we just make some, not too much, but a little time for them to actually be in that mood, so that as a teacher, ask them what happened in their weekend, all that, and then after that period of time end, we can start the lesson, so that they can actually,
Kind of release it.
release all the
Yeah.
stuff that they want to
Yeah.
talk about.
That's a really good idea, just to help them kind of transition back into school, enjoy that excitement of the weekend, but get back into it. That's a really good one. Yeah.
I think for the class rules question that you asked, I had a teacher once that did that. That was we were gonna set some class rules, and so he gave us two options. He said, I'll either let you guys make the rules and I will choose the consequences, or you can let me make the rules and then you can choose the consequences. So we got to pick, and it ended up that we chose the consequences and he made the rules. And so it worked out really well. It made it so that the teacher had his input, but also the students were able to put their thoughts into it. And it worked out really well because most of us followed the rules because we had helped create them. So I thought that's a good idea.
Yeah, that's really great. That's really good. So I had this one experience, this one class, I think we drove the teacher out. I think she quit after. It was really bad. We were just really mean, and she just couldn't establish that structure that we needed. Whereas I had another teacher the year before that in my 5th grade class, and she was just on it. She had a point system, and she just didn't have to say, if we were being loud or anything, she would just put her hand up and count to 5. And we would all quiet down. And she just had to, if we were being loud, she just had to erase a point. And we were, and that's how good she was. But she was so positive. Every time we started class, when we walked into the room, she shook her hand with a big smile and said good morning. And she just created that positive learning environment that we look forward to being there. And so that management that she had, it really helped us. It really made us excited about it. Do you want to read a little bit about classroom management?
Classroom management consists of the practices and procedures that a teacher uses to maintain an environment with instruction and learning, which instruction and learning can occur.
So classroom management is really important, for sure. And then the last one, just to finish up before we run out of time, is lesson mastery. Lesson mastery is not so much of our mastery of the lesson, but making sure that our students comprehend the lesson that we have to give. So, do you want to just read this last one?
Which one is that?
Right here.
Mastery refers to how well a student can demonstrate that a concept has been comprehended or perform a skill at the level of proficiency as determined by the teacher.
So we just need to make sure that, you know, the lesson that we do give, that we're able to see how well our students are understanding and how well they're performing. So it really, we're able to help them. And then just real quick, I'll read this. It says, to teach for mastery or competence, an effective teacher must do 3 things. First is to know how to design lessons in which a student will be able to learn a concept or skill to a goal or standard. The second is to know how to deliver the instruction to teach the goal or standard. And then also the third one is know how to assess and provide corrective action for learning so that the student can master the concept or skill. So it's all in our lesson design, how we deliver our instruction, and then how we assess our students' capability. And that's how we can have lesson mastery. So I wanted to just real quick do a little activity with you guys. I know how much we all love role play, but I want us to think about an experience maybe that we had. And you guys can either, you know, one of you can be the teacher and the other ones be the students, and have either make up a situation of an effective teacher or an ineffective teacher to show positive expectations or classroom management or lesson mastery. You guys think you can do that in a couple minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Which one do you want to do? You know,
Not an effective teacher. Do you want to do ineffective? You said, okay. Well, we can do classroom management effective.
Okay.
Okay. Do you want to be the teacher?
Sure. So just have to like
Yeah.
give an example.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you being effective?
Yes.
Okay.
Can they be first graders?
Yeah.
Or just,
sure.
okay. I'm better with them. Okay. Well, good morning, class. I'm so excited. It's the first day of school, and I'm so excited that you guys are in my class. It's going to be the best year ever. I'm so excited. So this year, we're going to have, I know probably in kindergarten you did something different, but this year you're first graders now. And so we're going to have a point system. So you're going to start each day with 10 points, each individual. Throughout the day, we're going to make sure we are keeping track of our points. So I'm gonna have you guys keep track of your own points. So I'm gonna come ask you every day how many points you think you deserved and why. So you're gonna start each day with 10 points, and at recess and in music class and lunch, you're gonna be making sure you're watching your behavior. And I'm gonna have other teachers help me with this, and you're gonna be able to tell me how many points you think you deserve each day.
Yay!
That sounded great.
Better with first graders.
We were really excited about that. That was a good example. Does anybody want to practice being a teacher for positive expectation? No? Okay. We're good. Cool. Well, are there any other things that you guys think that you want to implement in your future teaching career to become an effective teacher? What are some ideas that you guys might have that you want to do to help your students? Are there any
I think implementing some positive expectations and making sure that none of your expectations are negative to help motivate your students is an important one that I'm definitely going to use.
Cool. Anyone else?
Same. Actually, I think among all these, well, I'm sure all of them will be a lot of work, but I think having positive expectation at all times is the hardest thing. Especially, sometimes I tend to be a little judging towards people. Yeah, I'm trying to fix it. It's still kind of hard. So yeah, so I